Hi there, it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or an intermediate when it comes to making videos, these 7 laws will help you make better videos, like law number 1, and that's to think in shots. In real life, you can move your head and your eyes all around and look anywhere you want. But when you're making a video for someone to watch, they can only see wherever you're pointing the camera. So make sure you change up where you're pointing it. Take a look at these two sequences side by side. Version A is just one long shot of me getting out of the car, but version B is me doing the same thing but with multiple shots. Version B is visually more interesting and tells a better story. Each shot has a reason to exist and gives the viewer some visual information without it getting boring. So this is law number 1, think in shots. Point the camera where the viewer might want to look. When you're at the movies or chilling in front of your big screen TV, those big wide landscape vistas look amazing. The wide open plains in a western, an epic drone shot showing the landscape, that kind of thing. But with video, especially when viewed on a smaller screen like a phone, these vistas don't have the same visual impact. If your video has people in, make sure they're big enough in the frame. People talking, like I'm doing right now, communicate as much with their eyes and facial expressions as they do with what they actually say. But in this shot, it's harder to see my eyes because they're so much smaller in the frame. It's okay to have beautiful epic wide shots, just make sure when people are talking that you're close enough to see their eyes. Law number 2, the eyes have it, show people talking closer up. Imagine watching a video of a wedding where it started with one 5-minute long shot, and then it switched to another 5-minute long shot, and then it switched to a third 10-minute long shot. This is going to be pretty uninteresting and low impact. Or imagine the same wedding where you had a series of different shots, each one lasting 10 seconds or less. The overall video length, of course, is going to be a lot shorter, but it's going to feel richer, more engaging and more interesting than a 30-minute video consisting of 3 long-running shots. Law 3, 11 is a lifetime. Keep each shot to 10 seconds or less. Hello, future editor Jason here. Before we get to law 4, I just wanted to quickly tell you about my brand new ebook, The 52 Laws of Video. You can check out the first link in the description or scan this QR code. Please buy it, I think it will really help you make better videos. Alright, back to the video. If you're hand holding your camera and you want to get closer to your subject, don't zoom in, instead walk closer. Because the more you zoom in, the shakier things will look. IBIS and optical image stabilization can help here though, just be aware of any shake. You could also put your camera on a tripod to minimize shakes. Or instead, use your feet. Don't zoom in. Instead, walk closer and use a wider angle zoomed out lens, which will make any shakes look much less severe. Just be aware that a very wide angle lens close to a face can make it look distorted and unattractive. And never ever use digital zoom. If you lose resolution, things can look really bad really quick. Law number 4, use your feet. Don't zoom. While we're on the subject of feet, law 5 is about not using them. If you're a beginner at video, don't move the camera while it's recording. Instead, stand still and choose your shot, hit record, get the shot, hit stop, then move to the next shot and do the same. If you're more experienced, then sure, feel free to move the camera while filming, otherwise keep it locked off and stationary. Law number 5, plant your feet. Move, record, stop, move again. If you're filming outside or perhaps inside with a bright window, keep the back of the camera pointing towards the light. This is because your camera is not as good as your eyes and it can't see all the way into the brightest brights and all the way into the darkest shadows. If you film someone with a bright light behind them, then their face will be darker or completely in shadow. For example, in this case, the bright sun is behind me. But this could also be if you're filming in a dark room inside but it's really bright outside and the window is behind the person. Instead, flip it around, face the subject towards the light and the camera pointing away from it. Or in other words, the back of the camera pointing towards the bright light. Now, the camera won't be struggling as much with massive differences in light levels. And if the person is squinting, looking into the light, try moving them and the camera to a slight angle to see if that helps. Law 6, back to the light. Face the back of the camera towards the bright light source. Just had to get out of the sun for a second. I believe video can change the world and everyone can learn to make better looking, better sounding and better edited video. If that's something that you can get behind, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. While we're talking about better sounding video, let's get on to law number 7. The built-in microphones in your camera suck. And not only that, a lot of cameras come with automatic volume gain control. What this automatic volume control does is it boosts the level of quiet things when you're recording. So whether that's the person talking that you actually want to hear, or background noises like traffic or even people talking in the background. If you absolutely have to use the microphones built into your camera, then make sure you get as close to the person talking as possible, and also turn off any automatic volume control feature. What you really want, however, is an external microphone. This can be as simple as a cheap lavalier microphone that you clip onto your subject and then run a wire from that down into your microphone input socket on your camera. Could be a more expensive, complicated setup like a boom mic on a boom pole, or it could be something like this, a wireless microphone that transmits the sound directly to the camera. All of these will sound so much better than the tiny microphones built into your camera. Law 7, sound off. Don't use the built-in microphones in your camera. In conclusion, learn these 7 laws, use these 7 laws, but don't be afraid to break them if you want to be creative. But if you do break them, do it deliberately and consciously. And if you follow these 7 laws, you're going to end up with better looking videos.